everybody, my name's Ed Durbis. This is 93 Driving, and today we're driving a 2019 Mercedes GLC 43 AMG with a 3.0 liter twin turbocharged V6 producing 362 horsepower and 384 pounds of torque. And it'll get this SUV from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. So let's see exactly how this engine performs in a little SUV. We already tested this engine in the coupe. Well, let's see how it does in an SUV. With no further ado, let's get this show on the road. Driving the GLC 43. We have it all set in Sports Plus. One of the things that it's noticeable right off the bat is that you can tell that even though we test drove that 43 coupe, it's been recalibrated a little different. Even on a Sports Plus setting, it's keeping us in a higher rev than it did on the coupe. You got a little more growl coming from the exhaust. I don't know if you guys can catch it on the camera. So far here on the regular road, it's handling just fine. There's no bumps. Other noticeable thing is the seats. These are much more hugging, performance-oriented seat than they were in the coupe. And the coupe, they're a little more luxurious. And this one, it's a tad bit more sportier. It's got leather and Alcantara in the center to hold you in place. And the bolsters on the side really do hug you in. So even though I've mentioned this before in the videos, I'm not the slimmest guy on the planet, and they're tight. They're not crazy tight. If I was a little bigger, a little heavier, it probably wouldn't be that comfortable. But so far, so good. You know, same thing. It's a little bit of tire nose coming in, but nothing crazy. It seems good overall. This has really nice stitching, red stitching all over the dash, on the steering wheel. As you can tell, it's got red seat belts on. It's got the aluminum trim on the side doors, but it does have the wood paneling in the center console. Other than that, we're gonna get on the highway here and give it the beans and see how this engine performs when we do drop the throttle. And then we'll take it our parkway and take it our twisty road that we like so much. And then I'll give it my final thoughts on the GLC 43 AMG. We got some little cars in front of us, so we'll give ourselves a little room. All right, let's give it the bean. Let's not give it the beans. Johnny Law's right there. All right, here we go, heading into the parkway, and then we'll give it some beans and see what she sounds like and how she feels at full throttle. Full beans. Yep, it's fast. It gives you that pop. It's holding in gear still because it thinks that we're going to bounce at it again. And why not? It's fast. There's absolutely no drama whatsoever when you hit the gas. You got all that four-wheel drive system working for you, so it's grabbing on and pushing you forward. It's not lightning fast, but it's fast. I do think that the way this car is set up, ratio-wise, I think it's tuned a little bit better than the coupe. It's definitely makes you feel a little more, it makes you feel more alive. All right, here we go. We'll give it gas, 0 to 60, full throttle, full beans. It's fast. And it's nice to hear those pops. It's still holding in gear. So we just do beans again. Beautiful thing about this car is actually no drama whatsoever. As soon as you give it the beans, it just goes and you hear that growl of the engine popping. The only thing is here, just on a straight, there's due to the fact, obviously SUV, you do get a little bit of road noise, wind noise. What I mean, just I guess just the way the shape of the car is. Well, in that steering is, it's okay. There's no, it turns exactly when you want it to turn, but you're not getting a lot of feedback coming from it. So it'll be interesting to see how, if we get more feel coming out of steering when we go on our twisty road. So let's go check that out, and let's see what the brake feel is when we're coming down strong on them on the twisties as well, because so far there's really isn't a lot of feedback coming back from it. And typical, what I've come to realize in these AMGs, the typical Mercedes, that you have to go a little farther down on the pedal to get the initial bite, as opposed to the BMWs that we've driven, that the brake is instantaneously right there. So let's take it here in the twisties and see how it feels. All right, here we go on our favorite twisty road. Everything's in Sports Plus. Gotta be a little careful because the road is a little slick, so yep. You can feel it downshifting. The steering feels much quicker here. And as you can hear it, the engine is completely programmed different than the coupe was. Brakes are strong, but there's absolutely no feedback coming back from. Steering wheel feels good. It's got a nice weight to it. Yep, we can carry speed a little quicker than we did in the GLE coupe. Go up the hill, put that all-wheel drive system to work. Yeah, there we go. Not bad, not bad at all. I definitely love the sound of the engine. The engine definitely, you can hear it downshifting right there. One of the things about the transmission is that it bucks a little bit. It's so eager to go that you almost feel like you're in a wild bronco bucking at you. That's something that we did not feel at all in the coupe. So overall, I think this is the setup on this car. It's so much better, so much better. It's so much more eager to want to reward the driver and let you take her closer to its limits. I mean, it's still up at 3,000 RPMs, wanting to continue to, yeah. All right. Okay, my final thoughts on the GLC 43 AMG. One of the things that's always in the background is that engine note. You can always hear it in the back. So how about, just for shits and giggles, we give it the beans one last time, and then my final thoughts. My final thoughts on the Mercedes GLC 43 AMG. One of the things that I've touched base earlier is materials are perfect. They're really nice. There's a little bit of plastic in here, but I'm not gonna beat it to death. It still is a small SUV. Yeah, it's not the higher end Mercedes, so they do come at that price point. So other than that, it felt in twisties, it really felt alive. That's when it really showed the most of its character, with the engine note, the speed that it was able to carry, through the twisties, which I was impressed with, even though the road's a little bit wet and we had to be a little bit careful, so we wouldn't slip and slide. But yeah, it handled well. It's got plenty of room for everything you want to do on a regular basis. It's got enough power. It's not overly crazy power, and it's just quick enough to make you smile whenever you give it the beans. So in that regard, it's a pretty flexible package, I would have to say. I would take this car way over a GLE 53 coupe that we tested. This feels more nimble. If you feel more connected to the car, it makes you want to drive it hard. It makes you want to hear that sound of that engine note. Just with dropping a couple gears, drop one more gear. Yeah, it's much more entertaining. It really is. Well, this Lincoln cuts us off. But overall, I think that this, if you're in the market for something like this is really right up there compared to the BMW X3, which is basically, they're the same category. But yeah, I had a good time. This is, yeah, the instrument cluster is it's great. It's completely analog old school. It's got a chronograph kind of look with the center. I don't know if it'll come out in the picture. It's got almost like a checker flag, carbon fiber weave look to it. Main head display in the middle, digital display. The infotainment system, this is the old Mercedes entertainment system, so it's a little backdated. It's not the new MB USA. So the screen's only 7 inches, so it's a little bit small. Other than that, it's got all the same controls that you find all in Mercedes. It's got the shortcuts. Same thing with the command system to control the screen. That all works out pretty well. But the most part, the best accolade about this car is it has to be the way they have tuned this engine and this transmission. It really does know when you want to give it power. The only slight drawback, as I mentioned just earlier, is the bucking. If you're low speeds and you're Sports Plus, it'll buck a little bit, like a Bronco, like I said. So in that regard. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. This car is at Mercedes-Benz of Arlington. JT is more than helpful in supporting the channel, and his information is down in the link below. I hope everybody subscribes to the channel, because it does help. Comment, share, and more importantly, I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I'll catch everybody in the next video very soon. Until then, be well.